in your grace. You lied and manipulated me.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2021 thriller Help, a film that is directed by Blake Ridder and it stars Emily Redpath, Sarah Alexandra Marks, Louis James, and Blake Ridder also appears in the film, who directed this. Now, this film focuses on three primary characters, essentially. There is Grace, who at the beginning of the film breaks up with her boyfriend, and she ends up going to her best friend Liv's house, who lives with her boyfriend Edward, essentially to celebrate Edward's birthday over the weekend. She's invited to stay, and while there, starts to discover some unnerving truths about her friend and her relationship. What are my thoughts on Help? Well, this film is a bit of a slow burn. It is a film that will, for some people, maybe hit a bit close to the bone. There's quite a lot about domestic violence and deceit and untruths and betrayal. It's one of those type of films, really, where you're never really sure what's going on, but you know something's going on. The character Grace, when she gets there to see her friend Liv, there is this unnerving atmosphere, and you could feel that, which is a testament really to the filmmaking, I suppose. There is, and the performances from the actors. There is definitely a feeling of that something is just not right when she gets there in regards to what's going on at the home, what's going on with their relationship. It all seems a little bit too perfect. And Grace is a little bit uneasy with it, but obviously goes with it because she has no proof. And there is a neighbour called David, who's played by Blake Ridder, who the way the character's portrayed, he's portrayed as having some form of learning disability, perhaps autism or something like that. And he's kind of witnessed events at this house, and over the weekend, this Grace slowly starts, siphoning information from this David as to what's been going on in this home and this relationship. So as the weekend progresses, it all gets a bit darker. It all gets a little bit more unnerving as to what's going on until the truth is really revealed later in the film. Now, ultimately, who's going to really enjoy this sort of film? Well, if you like slow burns in regards to thrillers, it's actually well performed. I mean, the actors here all do a very, very good job. They're all. It's a low budget film. There's not many principal actors on display here. It's just these these main three characters spanning over this weekend and the interactions that they have with each other. I believed these characters. I believed they were who they were. They were portraying in the film. There were a lot of realistic conversations that adults have with each other about this, that, and the other, and relationships and sex and things that have gone on in their past. And there's all this stuff going on, all these discussions and things that all add to the flavour of the film, and it all adds to the immersion of the film. For the most part, they felt like genuine people and genuine conversations. So while this is certainly slow-paced, will it hold people's attention? Is the mystery strong enough for you to get invested in this film? Yes and no. There's kind of like, when it starts getting really dark, the last 20 minutes of the film, something like that, for me, that's when it started losing some of its realism or losing some of that grit. I just didn't buy a lot of it. And what the ultimate reveal when it takes place will potentially disappoint some. It was a bit anticlimactic to me. It wasn't anything as deep and dark, even though it was a quite a serious subject matter, what is going on by the end of the film. And then it all turns a bit odd in a sense of life and death and, trying to survive the night sort of thing by the end of the film. So it all slow pace, slow pace, slow pace, and then the last 20 minutes it all happens, and it's a bit like, oh god, what's going on? Oh, why have they done this? And it all feels a little bit like unearned by the end of the film in regards to what's going on, all the reveals that are taking place, and then the ultimate survival by the end of the film. So I do feel as though it lost some of its grit and immersion and realism by the end of it. But honestly, even though it was slow paced and it definitely won't interest everybody, the first 3/4 of the film felt far more real and far more interesting to me in regards to buying into these characters, getting on board with them. You might not have liked them all, but there was definitely, you know, something about the characters in the sense of that you believed who they were and who they were portraying, and then it all got a bit silly by the end. I think that's probably fair to say. So this is not a bad film, it's just not good enough to really be memorable when it's finished. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. It is something worth checking out if you like slow burn thrillers that are well performed. It might be something that you'll be wanting to check out when you get the opportunity. So thank you very much for watching. I'll be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.